Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quicker tutorial on how to do stocking liners. My other video is about 30 minutes long. It is very long and very detailed, and I don't really think you need all of what I put in there. If you do, or if things are confusing, you can go back to that other video, which I'll post to start at the end of this one in case you just want to skip this one altogether. But basically what I did is I took my fabric. It can be a fat quarter, it can be a yard, whatever you want to do. But a fat quarter is going to hold the size of a stocking as long as it is a normal size stocking. They will not fit jumbos. This one I'm going to be using has some really cute rocket ships on it for my rocket ship Santa that I've completed. So my rocket ship Santa already been blanket stitched together. And I actually left this, like, when I completed it, I left it attached. So I'll just go around it, which I'll show you as well. So I cut it with both sides together. It is the same size as my stocking. I didn't put extra space on the edge. And then what I did with right sides together, first, I put this seam in, which I folded it so the right side is on the outside like this. That way, this top part that shows is going to be the correct way. I used the width of my foot on my sewing machine to go all the way around. And then I also cut some of the toes. I cut the toe and the heel like this. Just watch out for your stitch. And that basically just helps for moving it around. It's not so tight. And once we turn it inside out, which I'll show you at the very end, it's going to give it a little bit more of a toe effect. So now that you are all stitched together, you're going to have a sock, a hand sock. And you are going to, this is what I like to do. I like to stick my hand all the way down inside the toe. And stick your hand in the sock. Make sure you get the toe in there and the heel in there. I did about 1/2 inch on top of here, and I had just cut, you know, up the sides and then cut it to where I would like it to go. Then I'm take this back seam and line it up with my edge and pin. And that just kind of holds it in place. And then I take this edge and I put it in place with this one, this other edge. And I kind of stretch it. And that helps a lot, you know, just getting it in place where it needs to be. And I always clip in the middle just so we don't slip. Oops. Then I'm going to blanket stitch around the top. I always use the color that the felt is, not the color that the fabric is, in case it is a different color. So on your seam, you'll still have a little bit to split. I actually split that seam and hug it to it, and that way it doesn't bunch up. And then I basically put a couple stitches in here and loop it through this hole. So it almost makes like a mini knot, just so it holds together. Now I'm going to start my blanket stitch all the way around. We can't forget our toe hang. So I'm just going to put it in about 1/2 inch at the very edge over here, as far as I can get it. Let me split my hem real quick. So about 1/2 inch. And you can pin it if you'd like to. Normally I just kind of hold it with my finger. And I'm just going to blanket stitch the rest all the way until I get up to my toe tag. And obviously you can't blanket stitch with your toe tag. So what I like to do is I'm just going to go through here, through the felt in the back, and then I'm going to go above the felt and kind of make it diagonal and go in over here. Up, diagonal down, and that's going to keep the stitches looking straight if you kind of kitty corner it like that. So back and forth, up through the top, and then when I get to the end, which will be almost on that seam right there, I just like to give it a couple more secure stitches on that seam, and I'll knot this seam also. Here we go. So we're attached right here. So I'm just gonna do the same thing as I did on the other side. Actually, what I think I might do is I think I might add another piece of string. I have this giant string thread, and instead of leaving it out or clipping it under, I just stuff it in between the liner and the felt instead of cutting it short. Not only does it hide it, but it also kind of leaves some length just in case your stitches get stretched out a little bit. And then I'll do the same thing starting this new thread. I'm just going to start it on the inside here, in between the felt and the stocking liner. So let's put my red end in here. Like I said, I do about a half an inch or more. It really depends on you. Now that I'm at the end, I'm still attached to my stocking, and I just pulled it through the seam here. But what I like to do is, instead of cutting it close down here and maybe having a little string hanging out, I just kind of go down the side of the stitch with my needle on the inside, poke it through, and pull it with my scissors. I just push it back a little bit, clip it, and then when I straighten it back out, it actually sucks that string back inside. So, we got our seam, we got everything put in. Now check this out. Excuse my dog. And one year, a piece of chocolate was stuck in there, and a little tiny mouse got into our storage shed and chewed through the bottom of the stocking to get at that little leftover chocolate. So now, and this was before I did liners, now at the end of Christmas, I do a liner check, and my kids pull their liners out, and they get to check to see if there's any little candies or anything inside. And if a chocolate had melted on the inside, or a candy bust open, or something happens, this protects this. These can be replaced. These can too, but it's going to take you a lot longer. And there's no promise that the kit will be available if it does need to be replaced. So, lining is awesome. And then you just stuff it back inside. a little bit more graceful, but you do. You stuff it back inside. You just put the toe in and the heel in, and you're all ready to go. Thanks, guys. Let me know if you have any questions.